Experience WW2 Through German Eyes. World War II, as experienced through the German point of view, unveils a complex narrative shaped by the socio-political dynamics and aspirations of a nation under Adolf Hitler's leadership. In the late 1930s, Germany found itself on the precipice of a global conflict, with Hitler's regime navigating a delicate balance between economic progress, nationalist fervor, and the ominous shadows of militarization. The German populace, initially captivated by promises of prosperity and the restoration of national pride, soon confronted the harsh realities of war. From the euphoria of Hitler's achievements to the inevitable descent into wartime hardships, the German perspective on World War II reflects a tumultuous journey marked by shifting ideologies, societal divisions, and the ultimate reckoning with the consequences of a devastating conflict. General Bloodless. The term General Bloodless appears to be used metaphorically to refer to Adolf Hitler in the late 1930s. This period was characterized by a complex interplay of socio-economic factors and political developments in Germany. Hitler, despite losing the popular vote in his bid for the presidency of the Weimar Republic and not achieving an absolute majority in German elections, managed to consolidate power. His revision of the Versailles Treaty alleviated discontent among the German population, fostering a sense of national pride and unity. The Nazi regime under Hitler's leadership pursued an aggressive policy of remilitarization, leading to the mass armament of the German army. While some Germans were aware of the potential dangers and expressed concerns about the ruling party's policies, many citizens, benefiting from Hitler's economic initiatives and industrialization efforts, believed in achieving a peaceful place in the global order. The Berlin Olympics of 1936 showcased Germany on the world stage, contributing to Hitler's image as a leader capable of achieving progress without plunging the country into another conflict. However, beneath the surface, dissent and apprehension existed, exemplified by reports from figures like U.S. Ambassador Raymond H. Geist, who conveyed the unease among certain segments of the German population. As tensions escalated with the outbreak of World War II in 1939, the German leadership, cognizant of the scars left by the First World War and fearing domestic unrest, attempted to minimize inconvenience in the early years of the conflict. Despite these efforts, the inevitable consequences of war, including rationing and sacrifices, gradually transformed life for every German citizen into a battle for survival, irrespective of their location in the country. The initial optimism and trust in Hitler's leadership gave way to the harsh realities of a conflict that would soon engulf the world. Food. As World War II unfolded, from the German perspective, the impact on daily life, particularly concerning food, became increasingly pronounced. The early years of the conflict saw a semblance of normalcy, with the Nazi regime striving to minimize disruptions to the German population. However, as the war progressed, rationing became a ubiquitous reality for every German citizen, regardless of their location within the country. The availability of food dwindled, and the battle for survival extended to the kitchen tables of households across Germany. The once prominent image of economic prosperity under Hitler's rule gave way to the stark challenges of securing adequate sustenance. Rationing measures, aimed at supporting the war effort, compelled Germans to adapt to limited supplies, altering dietary habits and emphasizing resourcefulness. The shift from abundance to scarcity became a poignant aspect of daily life, encapsulating the profound transformations that marked the German experience during World War II. What was ETS food? During World War II, as resources became increasingly scarce in Germany, the populace experienced a drastic transformation in their dietary habits. The scarcity of real coffee led to the widespread adoption of ersatz coffee, initially introduced in concentration camps as a form of punishment for Jewish detainees. This ersatz coffee, known as Pete's coffee, was primarily composed of acorns, kori, barley, oats, and grains, ingredients that were more readily available in Germany and Poland. Over time, the coffee substitute evolved, gradually eliminating coffee beans and leaving behind only acorns or barley, resulting in a beverage that resembled coffee in appearance but lacked its distinctive taste. Similarly, various food substitutes became prevalent throughout the country. Ersatz tea emerged, created from wildflowers, ground raspberry leaves, and even catnip. Substitute chocolate was produced using ground cocoa shells, while ersatz cocoa was essentially rebranded mixed peppers. The bread substitute, branded as a distinct product, was crafted from potato starch, often blended with sawdust. Wheat flour underwent stretching with pea meal, potato flour, and powdered hay. Basic food items like butter, eggs, and cooking oil were also subject to substitutes. Butter alternatives were produced from curdled milk, sugar, and food coloring. Eggs were replaced by yellow-colored corn and potato flour. Cooking oil became a mixture of beets, carrots, turnips, and various spices. Even meat underwent transformation, with ersatz meat sold in general shops being nothing more than rice patties fried in mutton fat. Notoriously, the war sausage, often criticized by soldiers, consisted of a concoction of plant fibers and animal scraps suspended in a mixture of blood and water. Salad oil, a staple in many households, was primarily mealage, a gooey substance secreted by common plants. The Germans resorted to such drastic measures in their attempt to navigate the challenges of wartime shortages, creating a range of ersatz products that, while ingenious in their resourcefulness, were far from satisfying to those who had to endure them. The evil plan to fuel youth. In 1933, Hitler's administration implemented a sinister plan to shake the minds of German youth, abolishing the original Boy Scouts program and mandating enrollment in the Hitler Youth by law in 1936. Initially presented as a seemingly innocent and enjoyable social activity, the program became a powerful tool for indoctrination into the Nazi ideology and fostering a deep-seated hatred for non-Germans. With a membership swelling to 5.5 million in the latter half of the 1930s, adolescent participants were subjected to relentless exposure to Hitler and propaganda through various media. As the Second World War unfolded in 1939, the Hitler Youth underwent a radical transformation. The new curriculum openly promoted radicalism and hostility towards minorities, teaching German youths to believe in the perceived superiority of their native lineage. The notion of innocent camping trips and camaraderie was discarded, replaced by intensive weapons training and combat drills. Boys were molded to emulate soldiers, with virtues such as punctuality, orderliness, reliability, subordination, aggressiveness, and physical prowess prized akin to attributes in a military training camp. Meanwhile, girls were tasked with stockpiling provisions, learning practical skills, and preparing for their envisioned role in supporting the war effort. However, not all youth succumbed to the indoctrination. Individuals like Sophie and Hans Skoll, high-ranked Hitler Youth members, became disillusioned with the injustices inherent in Nazi ideology. Together with a few friends and a supportive college professor, they clandestinely formed the White Rose, a resistance group aimed at challenging Nazi propaganda. Despite facing a tragic demise in 1943, their courage and resistance inspired others within the German leadership to reassess their views on Hitler, contributing to the eventual downfall of the oppressive regime. The narrative underscores the resilience and courage of those who dared to question the prevailing ideology and resist the pervasive influence of the Hitler Youth, Germany's savior. Upon ascending to power in 1933, Hitler's administration orchestrated a formidable propaganda machine, with Joseph Goebbels appointed as the Minister of Propaganda. Considerable resources were allocated to ensure widespread subscription to the Nazi ideology, infiltrating event cinema and theater under the Ministry of Propaganda's control. The production of affordable radio sets, known as the People's Receiver, was mass-produced and distributed to every German citizen. Strict restrictions were imposed on foreign broadcasts, and individuals were prohibited from tuning in to foreign media like the BBC, with the penalty for breaking this ban being death. Despite the risks, many Germans defied curfews to clandestinely listen to foreign broadcasts, particularly the BBC, which, in a countermove, hired German refugees who had fled the Nazi regime. These refugees were given a voice in German broadcasts to counteract the relentless Nazi propaganda. However, fighting against the pervasive Nazi narrative within domestic broadcasts proved challenging for the BBC, as the regime dominated German media outlets. Newspapers lauded Hitler's achievements, radios broadcast his speeches, and renowned German film directors like Veit Harland and Leni Riefenstahl were enlisted by the party to produce movies such as Triumph of the Will and The Great King. This extensive media campaign had a threefold strategy. Firstly, to establish and perpetuate the notion that Germany needed a savior, and Hitler was positioned as that hero. Secondly, to instill extreme nationalism and patriotism, especially among the youth. And thirdly, to fuel radicalism and vindication against those deemed undesirable, particularly targeting the Jewish population. The scapegoating of the Jewish people became a central theme, with Hitler blaming them for communism, linking it to figures like Karl Marx and Leon Trotsky. Hitler's allegations were founded on the writings of Swedish historian Alfred Rosenberg, who claimed that 75% of Bolsheviks had Jewish origins, a claim thoroughly debunked but still perpetuated by some today. Despite his animosity towards communism and Jews, Hitler signed a non-aggression pact with Stalin just before the outbreak of World War II, demonstrating his readiness to backtrack on his own ideology when it served his strategic interests. The propaganda machine also exploited economic hardships, blaming Jewish people and capitalism for Germany's misfortunes. Hitler's rise to power in 1933 saw the reform of the banking system, banning usury and portraying prominent Jewish banker Jacob Gmid as a symbol of Jewish influence. Scapegoating Jews and capitalism resonated with the masses, leading to a surge in Nazi popularity and votes as they capitalized on the sentiment that the Jews are Germany's misfortune. This manipulation of media and propaganda played a crucial role in shaping public opinion and fostering support for the Nazi regime, laying the groundwork for the profound and devastating consequences of World War II. Fake towns. During World War II, Finland, Romania, and Italy allied with Germany, aiding the Blitzkrieg. With their support and access to petroleum, Germany swiftly conquered various European nations. Spain and Switzerland remained neutral. The Royal Air Force, RAF, of the UK conducted nighttime raids on Germany, but technological limitations and blackout strategies limited their effectiveness. The Germans created fake towns with lights to mislead the RAF, while real settlements experienced intentional power cuts. Blackouts heightened paranoia and led to increased crimes. Evacuations during air raids were initially resisted, but later demanded due to intensified Allied bombings. The U.S. Air Force joined the raids, causing significant civilian casualties and homelessness. Over 400,000 Germans died in bombings, and an equal number were displaced, presenting challenges for the German government in relocating the affected population. What do you think of life in World War II Germany? Let us know in the comments below. Click the like button and subscribe to our channels for more videos that are not only entertaining but also educational. Thanks for watching.